Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Ohio Health Scores and More. I am Andy Jardy. Thanks for joining us here on this Week 2 edition of the show. Great night of high school football. We had some monumental streaks end and continue tonight. We'll get into those a little bit later, but a great night of high school football as always. And it already feels like fall. Boy, as soon as that calendar went to September, football season was here and the fall weather came with it. But we got a couple games we'll have highlights of for you tonight. Starting off, we'll have Cary at Galleon. Troy Taylor was at that game tonight as Isaiah Alsip continues to impress. Troy Taylor will have highlights of that game later on in the show. Granville and Clear Fork. The Colts unveiling that new turf they got tonight. Unfortunately, it went Granville's way. A big win for Granville. Tough draw for Clear Fork, but a good game nonetheless. Nick and Bruce will have highlights of that one later on. Lexington and Shelby. Look out for the Whippets. Brian and Tom will have highlights of that for us later on in the show, and then we'll wrap things up with Travis Berardi. He was over at Winford as they got a big-time, much-needed win over Tiffin Calvert. But now let's take a look at the scores from around the area, and we will start things off tonight over in Plymouth as the Big Red get the big win over Willard, 46-12. The Fighting Charlie Fries now 0-2 on the year. That's tough to see. Plymouth moves to 2-0, and they will travel to Buckeye Central next week. South Central had no trouble with Oberlin tonight. They win 48-12 and move to 2-0 on the season. Hillsdale also now 2-0 on the year. They beat Crestview 33-14. Crestview led 7-6 after one, and Hillsdale was only up 12-7 at the half, but all Falcons in the second half, they win 33-14. Western Reserve over Margaretta 29-12. Western now 2-0 on the year. Margaretta drops to 0-2. It was Wellington over Mapleton 24-6. The Dukes pick up their first win of the year while Mapleton drops to 0-2. Big win tonight. Norwalk St. Paul beats Fremont St. Joseph 49-0. This was only a 7-0 game after the first quarter, but 28 points in the second quarter put this one to bed for Norwalk St. Paul. Running clock in the second half. They win 49-0. Cardinal Stritch moves to 2-0 as they beat New London in a close one, 22-20. Nobody scored in the fourth quarter. This game 22-20 going into the fourth quarter. And if you're wondering where Cardinal Stritch is, just outside Toledo. They were my arch rival in high school, Northwood's biggest rival. So that is where Cardinal Stritch is located. Travis Berardi was at this game tonight. Winford, I don't know if there's such a thing as a must-need win this early in the year, but Winford definitely needed to get this win after the tough loss last week to Liberty Benton. They beat Calvert tonight 13-9. We'll have highlights of that game later on in the show for you. North Union pitched the shutout over Colonel Crawford tonight 34-0. They move to 2-0 on the season. Seneca East also now 2-0. They beat Edison Milan 40-20. Troy Taylor will have highlights from this one, but Galleon beats Cary 35-6. They move to 2-0. Isaiah Alsip, as I mentioned earlier, continues to turn heads with his impressive play. He had a rushing touchdown. He had a receiving touchdown. He had a passing touchdown, and he had an interception. Didn't return it for a touchdown. Come on, Isaiah, you're slacking on us. What are you doing there? But an impressive game for him nonetheless. Dalton beats Buckeye Central 41-7. They are now 2-0 on the season. Upper Sandusky gets into the win column. They beat Mount Gilead 41-21. Mason Vent had 5 passing touchdowns tonight to 4 different receivers. An incredible display from his arm tonight. Ontario, they get the bounce-back win from the tough Lexington loss last week. They travel to Highland Sparta and win 28-7. Clear Fork, tough loss tonight to Granville 21-7. Bo Buttermore just churning out touchdowns tonight. He had 3 of them, including 2 interceptions as Granville. That's a tough draw for Clear Fork. That might be the Colts' only loss in the regular season this year, but a good gut check reality kind of game for them. Clear Fork now 1-1 on the season. Madison again, another tough loss. They took an early 7-0 lead in this one, but River Valley beats them 39-14 to move to 2-0 on the season. How about the Shelby Whippets now 2-0? They dismantle Lexington 42-14. The Whippets have scored a combined 92 points this season. They put up 50 on Madison last week and now 42 tonight. They will travel to Big Walnut next week looking to go 3-0. Jonathan Alder beats Marion Harding 35-21. Alder now 2-0 on the season. Marion Pleasant beats Valley 43-21. Valley made this a game throughout most of the first half, but congratulations are in order for Patrick Bluebaugh. He becomes the school's all-time leading rusher for Marion Pleasant Hats off to Mr. Bluebaugh right there. Clyde over Ashland 28-14. Clyde scored on the very first play from scrimmage. Ryan Lozier throws a 72-yard touchdown pass to Adam Koviak. It was that kind of night for Clyde as they win 28-14. And here's one of those streaks I mentioned to you earlier. Wadsworth comes from behind to beat Worcester 20-17. The Grizzlies have now tied a school record for regular season wins. 23 straight games, the Grizzlies have now won. They trailed late in the fourth quarter but marched right down the field to keep that streak intact. It was Tuslaw over West Holmes 18-17. A tough night for the OCC. They go just 2-5 combined as a league tonight. Some tough losses for the OCC tonight. Loudonville beats Danville 21-6. The Redbirds get their first win of the season. How about Lucas? They beat Centerburg tonight 38-14. Carson Hogger had 2 receiving touchdowns, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and an interception, all of that in the first half, and then he added another touchdown in the second half. Lucas will have a big game next week against Northmore. It was Bellevue all over University tonight, 49-14. They are now 2-0 on the season. And how about this for a stat for you for a streak? Norwalk beats Huron 42-20. That snaps a 21-game losing streak to Huron. That goes back to 1989. I wasn't even born yet. Think about that for some of the folks in Norwalk. They've never seen their team beat Huron. Party on, Trucker Nation, tonight. You've earned it. Evan Stump, 4 rushing touchdowns on the night. What a display from Norwalk. Sandusky, no trouble with Springfield. That's a Springfield team that's made the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. They had 40 points in the second quarter, and they just rout Springfield 55-27. The Blue Streaks are 2-0. Tiffin Columbian, no problems with weight tonight, 41-6. Tiffin Columbian 2-0 on the year. Mansfield Senior, they're looking like the cream of the crop in the OCC. They blanked John Hay 41-0. TY Tigers now 2-0 on the season. Bucyrus over Cardington tonight, 26-7. And as I mentioned, Northmore gets another win tonight. They are 2-0. They will travel to Lucas next week. Travis Berardi already told me he's going to that game. He will be there. Both those teams 2-0. He is fired up for that. And that is our last score for you on the night. It's time now for our Play of the Week. We've got one for you this week. It's the Directions Credit Union Play of the Week. And this week, our winner is going to go out to Lexington, and an impressive run here in this one as Keith Thomas is going to take it, just levels over some Ontario defenders, and he takes it the rest of the way. 62-yard touchdown run. He takes it to the house. Lexington got the big win over Ontario last week. Take a look at this again. Uses the truck stick and gets right through that hole there. An impressive run, a 62-yard touchdown run. And that is our School Specialty and Directions Credit Union Play of the Week. Don't forget, you can vote for the Play of the Week over on our website, WMFD.com. Maybe you can see your school on here for our Play of the Week. So that's our School Specialty and Directions Credit Union Play of the Week. When we come back, Troy Taylor will join me. Galleon hosting Cary. Isaiah Allsip had a game. You will not want to miss it. Stick around when the Ohio Health Scores and More show continues.
Is this the picture of health? Is he? What about them? At Ohio Health, we believe health exists in all shapes and sizes. And superfoods aren't nearly as powerful as supermoms. We believe in listening more than we talk, and see ourselves as partners, not prescribers. Because at Ohio Health, we believe in your power to be healthy.
We have quite a lineup this year.
We certainly do. Check out the newest addition.
Oh yeah, that's the new Ford Ranger. It's a great addition to the Ford lineup.
And with the built Ford Tough F-Series trucks, they make quite a team. Donnelly Auto Group can get you into a new truck with savings up to $12,000.
So make it your goal to see our winning team members today at Ashland, Galleon, Mount Vernon, and Shelby. Discover the Donnelly difference.
Hey, it's Stephen A. Smith here. Glad to be part of the team at ESPN Radio 106.7 FM. We also got an all-star lineup of ESPN greats, like Golick and Wingo, The Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gotts, Will Kane, Freddie and Fitzsimmons, and Spain and Fitz. Plus, we're Mansfield's home for high school sports, Cavs basketball, and Browns football. ESPN Radio 106.7 FM.
At Avita Health System, your health care is centered around you. From preventative care to procedures that involve the latest technology, we strive to provide the best patient experience with advanced surgical services, 24-hour emergency, inpatient, and intensive care, and a trusted team of over 100 physicians. We have the experts for your health and the compassionate care to make you feel right at home. Avita Health System, about life, about you.
Galleon taking on Cary tonight. We sent our Troy Taylor out to that game. Troy, Galleon really had no issues with Cary tonight, and what an impressive game by Isaiah Allsup.
Yeah, not at all. Like, they ran through them offensively, and defensively they stopped them when it mattered most, and really it was just a great showing for them at home. All
right, well, let's take a look and see how the Tigers got it done tonight against the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it was an early senior night for the Tigers.
What?
Yeah, senior night on the second game of the year. And then on the opening drive, Wilson Frankhouse finds Isaiah Allsup for the 12-yard touchdown to start the game. And on the next series for the Tigers, this time Frankhouse rolling left finds his man. It's Caleb Griffin, this time for 23 yards. And it's 14-0 Tigers at this point. But on the ensuing next possession for the Tigers, it's Frankhouse trying to find his man, but he's intercepted by Bryce Conti, and the Blue Devils take over. And then on the ensuing possession, Reese Billick fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Rashad Phelps. And then
coughed it up.
A few plays later, it's Allsup. He punches it in from 2 yards out, 21-0 Tigers. And here's the play of the game. Allsup rolling right. It's a halfback option pass, and he finds his man Jackson Staton. 28-0 at the half for the Tigers. Later, it's Ethan Beringer. He's intercepted this time by Allsup. He's having himself a game. 3 touchdowns and an interception. But 2 plays later, Trevor O'Brien fumbles. It's recovered by Bryce Conti. Conti having a good day defensively with the fumble recovery, and even here with a 3-yard touchdown run to make it a little respectable. But the Tigers would respond immediately as Frankhouse, going deep, finds Hanif Donaldson for 71 yards. It would be the score that cemented the game, 35-6. Galleon now 2-0.
Wow, an impressive showing from the Tigers tonight. Isaiah Allsup, what does he do so well that just kind of you look at what he's doing and you go, wow, that kid is really impressive. What stands out to you, Troy?
He's not even really a position player. He's just an offensive weapon. You can use him in a variety of different ways like we saw tonight. He had a really phenomenal night receiving, but you can see he's capable of throwing the ball. He can run it through between the tackles, and defensively he can intercept passes. So he's a really dangerous weapon for Galleon. So
Galleon now 2-0 on the season. They haven't really had any trouble with either of their first 2 opponents. Are there any areas of concern, anything that you think they need to tighten up and really make themselves a formidable opponent for anybody?
Really, they don't really have a strong running game with running back. Most of their running comes from either Allsup on sweeps or from Frankhouse scrambling. But really, if they had more bounce attack, there's really no one that can challenge this team.
Cary's had a tough start to the year. They're 0-2 now. We saw a couple nice plays from them defensively. Do they have an identity as a team? Are they a defense team that if they can't keep teams off the board, they're going to have trouble staying with them?
Yeah, they were able to make some plays defensively, but offensively they just couldn't do anything with it. They turned the ball over on downs 4 times and then had another turnover on the Allsup interception. If you can't really sustain any drives, you're not going to have a lot of success in this league.
Isaiah Allsup, the most impressive player you've seen so far this year? I know it's only 2 weeks, but does he take the cake?
Well, when you score 3 different ways and intercept a pass on defense, yeah, I'll give it a nod.
We got to talk to him about not returning the interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, that kind of hurt.
Come on. Troy, good stuff as always. When we come back, we will have highlights of the Granville at Clear Fork game. Nick and Bruce were on the call that one. They'll have the highlights when the Ohio Health Scores and More returns right after this.
Pioneer Career and Technology Center, we help your son or daughter prepare for real-world success. Hi, I'm Greg Nicolai, Superintendent at Pioneer Career and Technology Center. At Pioneer, your student will learn a valuable career from experts in fields like healthcare, engineering, industrial diesel repair, and more. Discover all the possibilities for your student at Pioneer Career and Technology Center. Visit gotopioneer.com.
Join the Pioneer Experience!
Is this the picture of health? Is he? What about them? At Ohio Health, we believe health exists in all shapes and sizes. And superfoods aren't nearly as powerful as supermoms. We believe in listening more than we talk, and see ourselves as partners, not prescribers. Because at Ohio Health, we believe in your power to be healthy.
The Outdoorsman with Buck McNeely, Saturday night at 10:30 on WMFD.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Severe weather can strike at any time and at any place. Odds are, no matter where you are, you will have your cell phone with you. You need the Directions Credit Union. Severe weather to your cell from WMFD.com. It's simple and free. Just go to WMFD.com, click on Texting Sign Up, and select counties you want notified about. Then, when severe weather hits, we will send a text message right to your cell phone at home, work, or wherever you are when it hits. It's the Directions Credit Union. Severe weather to your cell on WMFD.com.
Moving right along here on the Ohio Health Scores and More. He's Travis Berardi.
Hi, guys.
I'm Andy Jardy. Granville at Clear Fork. Tough draw for Clear Fork. Obviously, all the hype going into that game, the new turf. Everyone wants to start things out on the right foot, but I think that's a tough opponent to draw there. It's a division higher than them. I mean, they gave it everything they could tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Just Granville was just a little bit better tonight. They're a really good team, like you said.
Yeah.
Clear Fork, they fought, just came out a little bit short, but nothing to put down on them tonight.
No, it's week 2. They'll rebound. They probably won't lose a game the rest of the regular season. But Nick and Bruce were on the call of that one tonight, and they've got highlights of this one. Fellas, take it away.
It was down in the Clear Fork Valley tonight as Granville and Clear Fork matched up on the opening night for the new turf here at the Colt Corral. But starting things out was the Granville offense. They had the ball first. Keyshawn Bonner with a huge screen pass to the left side.
But you see the penalty at the end. They pushed him. That was a problem for the Colts tonight. 8 penalties.
But early on, the Colts defense did bail them out in several situations. Nick Michaels, Bruce Wyrick, and the Colts did get the ball back. They forced a punt. So at Clear Fork's long drive here, this was a huge drive. 14 plays, Bruce.
And it was a great drive. I mean, they executed. They kept Granville on their heels. Granville didn't know what to expect. And he came up with 7 points for him.
And Brennan South right there, his athleticism really carried the team in the first half. And on this drive in particular, he kept finding the open man, throwing it to the middle of the field, right side. There's Ashton Lyon with the completed pass, and it would end up with 2:41 to go in the first quarter. It was 7-0 Clear Fork off a 3-yard touchdown pass from Brennan South to Tacoma Orr.
Uncharacteristic of the Colts, they had 3 interceptions tonight. One was not really that bad. It was a tip play, missed, and then the other 2 was like they were overthrown, and he just sat back there and picked them off.
Justin Buttermore's Granville Blue Aces, led by his sons, the sophomore running back there, that is Doak Buttermore, but the quarterback, Bo Buttermore. Bruce, we were really impressed with this young man, but on this drive, this is a big 4th down play, 4th and goal. Dylan Belcher, huge stop, and he was fired up for the Colts. It was 7-0, still Clear Fork at that point. The Colts would get the ball back. They would start to drive down the field. Big pass play to Tacoma Orr.
The big thing is, after they scored that touchdown, that was it.
Yep, and then
the Colts offense kind of went into a hole, and they couldn't get anything going.
And then Bo Buttermore with an interception on Brennan South, and he actually had 2 tonight. So the quarterback for Granville really impacting this game offensively and defensively. As Bo Buttermore, there's the other interception there for the quarterback for Granville, as he had a 24-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter with 1:34 to go to Christian Hilton. And then in the third quarter with 20 seconds left, Bo Buttermore had a 1-yard touchdown run off of an interception.
And he's more like a fullback when he runs that ball. He runs low to the ground, and he is a tough young man to take down.
There was Tacoma Orr's touchdown earlier on in the game. But yeah, and then the final dagger was 6:20 to go in the ball game. Bo Buttermore had a 1-yard touchdown run, or excuse me, a 4-yard touchdown run to make it 21-7, Granville. And tonight, Clear Fork's 21 winning streak was snapped. So once again, the final score: Granville 21, Clear Fork 7. Granville improves to 2-0 as Clear Fork drops to 1-1. Bruce.
And it was a great night for football. I'm just, I wish Clear Fork could have played a little bit better, but
you never know. Now back to you in the studio.
Nick, Bruce, great job on the call tonight, and Bo Buttermore all over the place tonight. Just too much Granville for Clear Fork.
And you know what? They're a fast team on a fast track. They matched Clear Fork with the speed. It was just Granville just didn't make as many mistakes that Clear Fork did.
Maybe the turf worked against them.
I don't think so. They practiced on it and stuff, but watch them against the MOAC squads. I think
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine, yeah.
They'll be fine. When we come back, Lexington and Shelby, the Whippets continue to roll offensively. We'll have highlights of that one when the Ohio Health scores and more returns right after this.
Is this the picture of health? Is he? What about them? At Ohio Health, we believe health exists in all shapes and sizes. And superfoods aren't nearly as powerful as supermoms. We believe in listening more than we talk, and see ourselves as partners, not prescribers. Because at Ohio Health, we believe in your power to be healthy.
Need help with your company's payroll? WOB Accountants and Advisors in Ontario provides clarity, strategies, and solutions to your complex payroll tax issues. WOB has the ability to customize their services to fit your specific needs.
Join us for March On, a high school halftime band show featuring this area's marching bands performing at the local high school football games. Tune in each week and enjoy the sights and sounds of March On, Sunday afternoon at 4:30 and Wednesday evening at 8:30 on WMFD TV.
On the next Senior Living.
Join me tonight on Senior Living when we introduce you to Dick McCumber, a man who left his business or retired and went into his new business called Lex Sews. An expert on machines and sewing and all that sort of good thing. Why don't you look him up, give him a call.
For About and Focused on Seniors, Senior Living on WMFD.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit Saved by the...
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Magic Ear by Atomic Beam. It gives you the astonishing experience of super hearing. No more embarrassing complaints as you watch TV.
Please, turn that down.
With Magic Ear, you don't have to turn up the volume or ask anyone to repeat themselves. You can even hear a whisper 100 feet away.
Have you seen Dawn? She looks amazing.
Sportsmen and bird watchers use it to hear noises that are too low for the human ear. Magic Ear gives you the incredible experience of super hearing. Order Magic Ear by Atomic Beam right now for just $19.99. But wait, order now and you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. Plus, we'll ship them free and fast. That's 2 Magic Ear by Atomic Beam and free shipping. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-211-5066. That's 1-800-211-5066. Or visit getmagicear.com. So call 1-800-211-5066. Order now.
Welcome back into the Ohio Health Scores and More. He's Travis. I'm Andy. Lexington ran into a tough Shelby team tonight. The Whippets, I don't know if we expected them to be this good.
I was expecting this to be a really good battle back and forth between these two teams, but McGuire Albert looking like Brennan Armstrong out there.
How about that? Yeah, he threw for 5 touchdowns, only 9 completions, so he threw 4 passes that weren't touchdowns.
We'll probably get to see all of them in this highlight.
We will. Let's take a look at the highlights. Brian and Tom, take it away.
The Shelby Whippets hosted the Lexington Minutemen in Week 2 of the 2019 high school football season, both coming off of big wins in Week 1. And it looked like, Tom, at the beginning, this was going to be an offensive showcase on both sides of the ball.
Well, you looked at the score there, and then you had Grant Gossam taking off on a 97-yard kickoff return. First offensive play for the Minutemen. They scored on a 73-yard halfback option from Caden Berry to Alex Green. And here you see a pitch here to Owen Fisher.
Owen Fisher had a big night, both catching the ball and running the ball. 14 carries, 110 yards. He had 3 receptions for 120 yards, and 2 of those were touchdown receptions. That's 230 yards of total offense. But the big story tonight, Tom, was really the defense for Shelby. They really took Lexington out of it early.
Yeah, they did a good job of stretching out the run. You can see here is number 50, tied up a tight end and the tackle. And here's the safety as the ball was snapped over Caden Berry's head. But like I said, this is one very staunch defense right now. Now they really haven't been tested when you look at it with Madison and Lexington. But like I said, I think if they can eliminate the penalties, this is going to be a very dangerous football team. This is the kind of football team that can go real deep in the playoffs. Only time will tell. But, if you're Coach Rob Matheny, you've got to clean up the penalty situation. But if your defense and offense keeps playing like this, they're going to be able to go a long way.
McGuire Albert, 9 of 24 through the air, 273 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had 6 carries for 71 yards, so a solid night for him as well. Shelby 2-0, and Lexington 1-1 after a 42-14 Shelby win over Lexington from Skiles Field. I'm Brian Harder. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian and Tom. Great call tonight, as always. And Shelby, I mean, it's only 2 weeks, but they've put up 92 points to start the year. Once that offense, they just keep snowballing downhill once they get going in a game.
And with Coach Robert Mahaney, last year he had a 10-0 Mapleton team with a quarterback that put up record numbers in Ashland County. And now he gets McGuire Albert in his senior year, and he was learning behind Brennan Armstrong before he left. He's been building up, had a lot of experience, and this year both of them, they're just thriving right now.
Yeah,
really good team.
Yeah, and they got to clean up the penalties. They had 12 of those for 108 yards, but it doesn't matter when you're scoring as much as they are. And that's a Lexington team. I still don't know if we quite know who they are. I mean, they get a big win over Ontario in the rivalry week 1, and then they come back, run into the tough Shelby team.
Well, they stopped Caden Berry. He was only 51 yards rushing, and I talked to Coach Mahaney and a couple of players from Shelby earlier in the week, and they said they have to key on him. They have to stop the run, and they have to continue to do what they are supposed to do on offense, and they would be fine, and that's exactly what they did.
All right, well, Shelby 2-0 to start the year. They will travel to Big Walnut next week. When we come back, we will wrap things up here on the Ohio Health Scores. And more, Travis will have highlights from the game he was at, Winford, getting a big win at home, much needed. But we'll have highlights for that when we come back and wrap things up right after this.
This is Sheila D.
And this is Mike Tyler.
Join us every Saturday night from 6 until midnight for the Saturday Night Flashback.
On Mix 106.1.
Mix 106.1.
Is this the picture of health? Is he? What about them? At Ohio Health, we believe health exists in all shapes and sizes. And superfoods aren't nearly as powerful as supermoms. We believe in listening more than we talk, and see ourselves as partners, not prescribers. Because at Ohio Health, we believe in your power to be healthy.
The Lord says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and find life burdensome, and I will give you rest."
Join us for the majesty of the Catholic Mass, here Sunday mornings at 9:30. For more information, visit mysundaymass.org.
Final segment here on the Ohio Health Scores and More. He's Travis, I'm Andy. Travis, I don't know if there's such a thing as a must-win game in week 2 of the season, but I feel like Winford, you know, the tough loss last week to Liberty
You're going to
Benton.
make me say playoff points, aren't you?
I was going to, but yes, that they couldn't afford.
Same wavelength. Man.
Same wavelength.
We know.
They couldn't afford to go 0-2, right?
No, I mean, especially with this Northern 10, N10, so many conferences. This N10 schedule coming up, you can't afford to be 1-2, maybe 0-3 going into that, because it's a tough hole to get out of. But they pulled it off, and let's show you the highlights.
Yeah, let's see how the Winford Royals got it done.
Out of the N10.
Yes.
They're at home for the first time in 2019. Do you know what bummed me out, Andy?
Where are the couches?
Exactly. They didn't have them in the end zones, just folding chairs. I was depressed, man. Anyway, opening drive for Calvert, and Aaron Rombach gets the running game going off the left side. He'll get 14 yards. That sets up a Quentin Ronski 37-yard field goal right down the middle. It's 3-0 Calvert. Ensuing kickoff, and it's squibbed to Kendall Blair at his own 25. He makes one man miss there, and then bounces outside. He's going to turn on the Jets. Has one man to beat. Get off me. 75 yards to the house. Extra point no good, however. It's 6-3 Royals. After a Calvert 3-and-out, Winford back in business. Dustin Brady throws to Seth Benedict Cumberbatch. He'll make his way for a 15-yard gain. Then later, Cody Taylor, he's going to take the handoff and fight his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Extra point good this time. 13-6. After both teams punt on their next possessions, Calvert in business. 1st and 25, however. Jack Schultz up to Nick Seifert for 21 yards. Play of the week candidate. They would get the first down, but later in the drive, 4th and goal from the 1. Handoff, left side, Mitch Nelson. But Taylor brings him down from behind. But did he break the plane? No. Royals take over. However, they would punt, leading to another Ronski field goal from 35 out as time expires in the half. It's 13-6. Second half, and there's Ronski again from 30 yards away. It's 13-9 after 3, and it would remain that way until the last minute of the game. Calvert 3rd and goal from the 5. Schultz under pressure, and Taylor and Nate Embody get the huge sack. 4th and goal from the 19, 54 seconds left. Schultz back to pass. Fires to the end zone, and it is intercepted by Hacksworth. Winford takes over, and they win it 13-9.
That's I would love to look at that from another angle or a little slow-mo of the play down at the other
Down
end
in the
there.
end zone?
I don't know if he was down.
I don't know. The
It looked like
referee,
he landed on
was
the
pointing
player.
at the ground like his knee was down before he reached over the line. But you have to give Taylor credit. He came from the other end,
absolutely.
grabbed him by the back, and was able to pull him down to force that turnover. Winford also, they had a 4th and goal from the 1, and Calvert got the turnover. That led to that final drive. But Winford, that defense, bend but not break.
Yeah, bend but not break defense from them tonight. Also, I don't know if I can recall the last time I saw 3 field goals made in a high school football
Maybe in a college
game.
football game. I saw the Indianapolis AU football game last night. Indianapolis's kicker, it was Ashland's kicker, kicked 3 straight to start the game for that. But I rarely see those. You rarely see 1 in the high school football game. The kid kicks 3, and that was from 30 to 40-yard distance right there. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they weren't cheap shots by any means. He's got a leg on him. He's see what he does with that the rest of his career, but impressive performance there. Winford, though, much needed win. You mentioned the bend but not break defense.
Calvert, they had some playmakers too. Rombach, 18 carries, 84 yards, and then Seifert, 7 catches, 120 yards. They're a good team. They won in week 1.
Right.
Winford, and like I said, playoff points. Calvert's going to get some of those wins. That's going to help out Winford.
You said it. I did not.
Hey, that's what I'm supposed to do, man.
Absolutely. Well, Travis, looking around the rest of the area tonight, anything kind of jump off the page to you? Anything stand out? Or did you learn anything about anyone this week that maybe you didn't last week?
Well, we both know Mansfield Senior's good.
They are very good.
And they're probably going to be favored next week in their next game. However, you know what? They did this tonight without 2 playmakers. D1 recruit Anthony Hawkins, he's out with an MCL sprain. He hopes to be back by week 4. And then Elijah Gross, he's getting looks as well. He had an ankle ligament tear. He's going to be back week 5. But right now they're still rolling. They have so many playmakers, so many pieces that they can switch in and out. Once they get those guys back, that's the heart of the OCC schedule.
Right.
It's Mansfield Seniors to lose right now.
I think it is. And a tough night for the OCC. That's kind of what jumped out to me. The conference as a whole going 2-5. Mount Vernon and Mansfield Senior picked up wins tonight, but the rest of the league all coming up on the wrong end of the scoreboard there. But I just think maybe Lexington gives them some trouble. Maybe Ashland kind of figures it out. Or Worcester had a tough loss tonight. I mean, they took Wadsworth down to the wire. The Grizzlies.
Back-to-back losses. They're 0-2.
Yeah, they are 0-2 and 2 tough losses. But they had the Grizzlies. They've now won 23 straight games. That ties a school record. But they had a 17-13 lead with under 6 minutes to go, and Wadsworth went right down to take the lead.
The opposite of the Winford game, pretty much.
Yeah, but those are kind of the things that jumped out to me. And then the game that you'll be at next week, Lucas and Northmore. And Battle of the unbeatens in week 3.
2-0 versus 2-0. But you know what? Lucas, they're more balanced this year with Nicewander, chucking the ball around. It's going to be Nicewander versus Mariotti. It's going to be Wyatt Reeder, who had over 100 yards for Northmore against Hogger. Great game. And finally, real quick, Shelby, really impressive, putting up big numbers. They're going to fight Clear Fork for that MOAC crown.
Yeah, 92 points scored so far by the Whippets this year. 50 in week 1 and 42 tonight. We also want to mention, Travis and I have been picking games this year, and after 2 weeks, I am 41-14, and Travis is 40-15. So I have the bragging rights this week. You led last week. This week belonged to me. It should be fun the rest of the way. All right. And don't forget, you can catch a couple of the games that we had highlights for, the replays of those games. Granville and Clear Fork, that comes up right here after us at midnight, and then again at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Lexington and Shelby, that's at 8:40 on Saturday morning, and then again at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. For Travis Berardi, I'm Andy Jardy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.